Kia ora te whānau. We're here with Alexa Kimono, and a talented industrial designer that I just learned whakapapa to Indonesia to Chinese heritage, but grew up in the Netherlands. I was going to tell you, bro, why don't you tell me, how did your whānau end up in the Netherlands? Tell me that story, bro.
Oh, great. Thank you first for having me here.
Yeah.
Well, as you know, Indonesia used to be colonized by the Dutch for centuries, right? Like they took all the sort of resources from there, spices and so on. So, and therefore grew a cultural sort of fusion of the Indonesian and the Dutch culture.
Yeah.
So after the war, the Indonesians were promised independence,
Yeah.
but the Dutch were chased away by the Japanese occupation.
Okay.
So therefore, a lot of Indonesians migrate to the Netherlands to look for a better future. So our family was, actually a flow of that, the migrant population.
Wow.
Because my father spoke, and my mother already spoke Dutch, and they knew the Dutch culture and language. So for us was that, let's move there to get a better education.
Wow.
And hence I got the opportunity to study in the Netherlands as an industrial designer.
It's the immigrant dream, right? Like, our parents have sacrificed everything for our kids to have a better future, and our grandkids to have a better future too. But you mentioned before that you whakapapa to Indonesia, to Chinese heritage. Can you trace back how far do you know how far you can trace back to whereabouts in China your ancestors are from, bro?
Yes, I think I've kind of traced our surname back to a region just outside Hong Kong. My kind of ancestry surname. And I think I can remember, our grandparents could actually speak the language.
Wow.
But slowly, as generation after generation, you merge with the cultures that are around you. So we had not just Chinese people, but also Muslim people, Hindi people all around us, and European people. So it's kind of, the origins kind of fade away and made us a bit more like world citizens. Yes, it is. Yeah.
So what was it like being a 5-year-old? What was it like being a 5-year-old growing up in the Netherlands? Like, what was that like, bro? I'm sure.
Okay, the Netherlands was a very liberal country, very progressive country where, anything from design to cultural expression to art was already kind of progressing from the early, golden age. So coming from Indonesia, where very traditional art and expression into like the modern culture where they did modern education, solving problems through design, industrial design was already far advanced. For me, it was really mind-blowing because I learned so much in different thinking, like human-centered design thinking came earlier on board. How to produce with circularity and sustainability was very important early on. So for me, it was this is my dream to become a designer. This is the place, the right place to be. Very progressive thinkers, and also people like in architecture. OMA, Rem Koolhaas, who taught people like Zaha Hadid, and famous industrial designer, and like Philips Design, that really progressive thinking of like what does the house of the future looks like. And companies like that were all around us. So that
I study architecture, and I sort of grew up in my studies with Rem Koolhaas.
Of course, My friend actually works for him.
Oh, no
so
way.
We had the pleasure of actually going into and looking at how it works in the Office of Metropolitan Architecture. And it was, very progressive indeed in terms of,
So, bro, why did you get into design?
Oh, as a kid, I always took things apart to see how they were built and what they looked like. And I was obsessed by objects, and why does a radio come out with that sound, and why does it have a shape like that? And then later on I started doing music, so I was obsessed by musical instruments and things. But it was objects mixed with human interaction, like how can you design something with either cure people, make people happy, or people can use that makes them, a special individual. Like it could be an instrument, it could be, I design things for people with mobility issues or speech issues.
Yeah.
So I was trying to design things to also with a social and cultural impact and to help people with the design. So not just make trendy things, but also things with a purpose. That was my dream.
What's one thing about your approach or your process of design that only you do, but no one else do in the world?
Okay. Oh, that makes me like a special person, which I'm not. But well, I guess my mix of backgrounds, on both cultural ends, because I've lived in different countries, Indonesia, Netherlands, and then we lived in London for a while, and now New Zealand has taught me a lot of like learning about people and cultures. And with people and cultures, you also understand the people needs, from different countries and where they're coming from and what their needs are in general. So that combines with the essence of human-centered design is investigating like how can we create something that actually fulfill people's needs and not just for the sake of being beautiful. So and I guess my skills in that, and also the background is being an ex-industrial designer, and now I'm doing UX, UI, and customer experience and product and digital design. So
It's
you
all
merge
experience.
all these kind of disciplines into what I am today, and I'm interested in also like architecture, art, music. And I guess that makes me my own individual is that I merge all these cultural and art and design influences from what I lived through and create my own, special, unique design to help people, I guess.
Where do you see the future of design headed towards, Alexa? Like, where do you think it's going? And what are some patterns or trends that are emerging that are telling us that it's heading that direction?
Yeah, throughout my time as industrial designer, I created a lot of waste. I've gone to factories in China and stuff where I see like people throwing out mercury in rivers and a bunch of plastic waste being chucked on a pile mountain high and stuff. And that was, to me, in retrospect, made me realize like we're creating so much waste, and all of that is being put in seas and big pile that's being burned in, the Philippines and Asian countries and stuff. The European countries just chuck waste away to those development countries. And I think it's the trend now, I think, is to do something with that waste, right? Like what you guys are doing in terms of sustainability and circularity to create something out of, the things that people normally chuck away and build something new out of that. I think it's massive. What you guys are doing is respect to that. So what we are trying to do now is really try to save the planet. We're facing climate change and all that kind of things, and I think that is really key for us to discover what we can do, not just create new waste, but how to recycle waste and create something useful out of that. Is I think the sustainability, circularity issue and the recyclability issue is really like priority.
I'm really, I could ask you so many questions. We could talk all day too, but what's one advice you'll give to younger designers who wants to make an impact in the world?
For younger designers, I would advise to be curious, and learn about the world. The world is an oyster nowadays with internet and YouTube, TikTok, anything. You can actually see what is happening outside your door. You can see what's happening in China, in America. Absorb all of that and learn. Try to find out all the elements that makes you you, and try to follow your heart and identity. And take all the nice things, elements from the internet and all that you learn from the world. And if you get the opportunity to travel to actually be in that spot and meet the people, even better. Like I had the opportunity to travel and see. Like I just saw Matt speaking about Gaudi. Well, I stood in front of the cathedral and I was like, wow, this is something. Or the Guggenheim Museum in Bilbao, and said like, wow, this is amazing, and speak to the local people there. If you have the opportunity to do that, travel and meet people and really get to know them, because that's the way you learn, like as a designer, right? Like just learn the internet first and then travel the world, I would say.
And then Alex is going to pay for your flights to Europe.
Yes. I wish. Yeah. Definitely, if I can, help people travel. And
Can I get that in writing?
why don't we travel together and promote sustainability?
Done deal.
Yeah.
Well, bro, it was so good to talk to you.
Thank you so much.
Really enjoy learning about who you are. I don't know, maybe we're related somehow, way back, eh?
Definitely. Maybe our ancestors.
But yeah, maybe let's go grab some yum cha later. Yeah, so good, bro. Thank you so much,
Thank
brother.
you so much.
So good, bro.